What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dom and welcome to Faith Family Homestead. Pardon my voice, I'm still getting over a lot of congestion, but today I want to build a hoop house inside of a hoop house. By doing this, I'm basically adding an extra layer. We are in my cattle panel hoop house at the moment, which I was able to keep my peppers alive in here until it got down to 15 degrees. This is an unheated hoop house. Basically, if the sun is out, it's really hot in here and it's able to keep temperature overnight. I want to be able to leave my tomatoes that I'm going to start, as well as my peppers that I've already up potted, inside this hoop house. But in order for me to do so and for them to grow well, I want to make sure that they not only die, but that they actually thrive and get the amount of heat that they need. So to do so, I'm going to do something that I did the first year I was here gardening on this property, is basically doing like a winter sowing method, where I created a hoop house outside in one of my garden beds. So I'm basically just going to be doing the same thing, but I'm going to be doing it inside of this hoop house. I already started with adding, this is PVC pipe, and I'm going to be 1/2 inch, and I'm going to be adding about 3 of these. These are the 2 by 8 foot forever garden beds, and probably gonna add about 3, one in the beginning, one at the end, and one in the middle. And outside I'll go and get it, but I basically have a piece of clear plastic that I got from I think Walmart. I believe it's 20 feet. I didn't use it last season, so it's been put up. I have to measure it again, but I'm essentially going to, I do have beets planted right at the beginning right here, and I am going to go ahead and pull those out so that I could use these first 2 forever garden beds strictly as a way to start my tomatoes and my peppers, and me not having to start them inside, and then also me not being able, or me being able to trust that they won't freeze in here by having the 2 layers of plastic. So I am going to have to remove these beets that I have growing here, but for now I'm going to focus on just the first hoop house because I don't have that many trays right now. I have 1 pepper tray, and then I have 1 tomato tray that I started a couple days ago, but I do have 2 pepper trays that I've up potted inside my house. I have 1 more tray that I do need to up pot, and then I have 3 more trays of tomatoes that I need to start. So that's gonna fill up these 2 beds, but I want to go ahead and get this started. Tonight is it's gonna go down to 32 degrees, and I did leave some some peppers in here, and they didn't die. They were fine, that I up potted. And then for the next 2 weeks we have temperatures in the 70s, and then in the lows overnight it's about in the 50s. So I won't need to keep the double plastic on for during the day, so I'll come in here during the day and take the double plastic off, but at nighttime, if I see that it's gonna get low, I will come in here and then put the 2 layers of plastic on. So let me go ahead and get the other PVC pipes in and grab the plastic, and I'll be right back. You can see some of these PVC pipes are already bended because like I said, I did use these outside in my garden 2 years ago. this is my bucket of red wigglers. So right now I'm going to move them down to this bed since I'm not using that bed at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble this and show you what it should look like. I do have these clips from when I did this 2 years ago outside in ground. And when I did it 2 years ago, I did use rebar and hammered it in the ground. I knew this soil would be much looser and could go into deep enough so that it could hold it and not come out. So I didn't need rebar, but I am going to use those clips to clip on this plastic. Maybe I should go ahead and do both rows because I have all this extra hangage right here. So I think I am gonna go ahead and just do both of them, even though I only need one right now, just so I can get it up off the ground and not hanging right here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me go get some more PVC pipe. Okay, so you can see how I did stretch it over the cross of the, I did stretch it over 2 beds. And this is 20 feet. That's just what I thought I remembered. And the beds are only 16 feet, so I do have it stuffed at the corners of each bed. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use these clips on the top. Like that, just to keep the plastic in place. And I won't need to add any on the opposite side because it's stuck against the cattle panels. And I could add some here. Right now I'm just going to add clips on the top. And like I said, I'm not going to clip this side so that I can easily come in here and lift it and see my plants in here. But when it gets down to anywhere about, like, say it's gonna be 30 degrees, 32 degrees or anything like that, I will come in here and clamp it down really good to keep it insulated in there. But right now it doesn't feel really too hot in here. I need to get a thermometer and I keep forgetting a temperature gauge for in here. But it is like 60 degrees, like 55 to 60 degrees outside. I'm not really sure exactly. And right now the sun is right over this tree, so it is shaded in here. It's kind of like partly sunny, but once it starts going over, it will get plenty of sun. And on cloudy days and everything like that, if I see that, you know, it's not getting enough sun, I can always take them out during the day and everything like that. But right now this is saving me from having to, from keeping these plants inside my house. Because I don't really have the space at the moment, and I don't want to have to move the stuff off of my racks and get out more grow lights. So if I can avoid that, then I will try this, because this is much easier. So you can see right now I have my peppers and the tomatoes I started in here, and I'll just go ahead and sit the other tomatoes that I'm gonna start and the peppers that I pot inside here. So I did think about doing this earlier before we had that Arctic freeze to see if I could save these peppers that I overwintered, but I definitely didn't get a chance to come out here and try it then. But I'm glad I have it now, because now is more important. Like, I did plant more jalapenos. These were all jalapeno peppers, and I was just seeing if I could overwinter them without any heat. But now is the time when I'm starting all of my tomatoes and basil and basically everything that you need to have, everything I need to have an amazing summer garden. And so having this is really going to help me out with that, especially when I start to up pot. I think I'm going to end up with more than, I don't think I'm going to end up with, I know I'm going to end up with more than 100, probably even more than 200 individual tomatoes. And if each tray is only taking 36, that's already about 6 trays of just tomatoes alone once I up pot them. And then that's not including basils and zinnias and sunflowers and peppers and everything else that needs hot, very, very hot temperatures without dying. So I'm happy to have this done. The sun is starting to come out from behind those trees because it is starting to get hotter in here, which is awesome. So while now that I have that all set up, I feel confident in starting these tomatoes. Although they don't need light, they do need heat. Oops. So I already have these tags written out. These are going to be beefsteak varieties that I'm starting, and I'm basically doing 1 per cell, 1 plant tag per cell. And I'm going to plant about 4 seeds in each one, because I only need probably 1, some of them maybe 2. I do plan on giving away a lot of tomatoes or selling them or whatever I need to do. So that's 18 more beefsteaks. And then I have in here are my smaller tomatoes, so they're not necessarily beefsteaks, but like I have a Paul Robeson, which isn't really, it's only 7 to 10 ounces, so not really, really big, but not, or not really, really small, but not super huge as well. And I had already counted, and I needed 3 trays to start all of the tomatoes. And I already have, my daughters did help me by planting, or that filling these trays for me, and I had already wrote the name tags this morning before I even came out my room. I went ahead and wrote all of the plant tags that I needed, because that takes the longest amount of time. I don't know if I said that in this video, but I am just under 8 weeks from my last estimated frost date here in coastal South Carolina, zone 8B. I'm estimating my last frost date as April 2nd, but according to the USDA, they changed the growing zones and stuff, and although I'm still at zone 8B, they upped my last frost date from April 2nd to March 27th, which technically would make me just under 6 weeks, closer to 7 weeks from my last estimated frost date. But the reason why I'm going to stick with the April 2nd is last year our last frost date was exactly April 2nd, and then the year before that we had a freak frost mid-April, and then before that we had the year before that I think we even had a frost in April as well. So I'm not too confident that March 27th will be our last frost date, but we'll see. Those dates are based on an estimate, so it's, if you can, you should plant by those, but watch the weather as it gets closer. So if it got close to like March 27th, I would look at the next 2 weeks forecast and see if there's any days where it's like in the low 30s, because once it gets closer to that day, it can definitely change and then go ahead and freeze. Now that I got all these planted, I mean all these tags in here, I'm gonna go ahead and just start planting them. You guys have seen me plant over and over again, so I'm not gonna keep you here while I plant all of these seeds. I didn't say it in this video, but I think I said in the last video, these seeds are from 2017 and they only have 5 to 6 seeds in them. So instead of planting 4, I'm just going to plant all 6, because one, I don't know if the germination rate is going to be that great, and since it is an older seed and I want to go ahead and get some new seeds of these without buying them, and so I'm going to go ahead and plant all of these, and if they germinate, I'll just try and save seeds. And I'm not throwing these away just yet, because I want to keep them and make sure I know what seeds I don't have any more seeds of. Actually, now that I thought about it, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little star on the seeds that I'm using all of it, so that way when I'm transplanting, I can keep an eye on plants like these and know that I have no more of these seeds. But I'm also gonna write it down inside. I'm saving these packets until I finish, and then writing it down inside my notepad to let me know. And I'm doing these, I have a lot of seeds packets right here on the ground that I looked. I'm doing this with I want to do this with my peppers, my tomatoes, my flowers, anything that I'm gonna run out of, and see if I can save seeds myself to save me from buying these seeds next year. So thank you guys for hanging out with me while we got that hoop planted, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.